Hi everyone, welcome to the CapCut Editing Basics. This will be a recap from the workshop that took place on Monday, so if you didn't have a chance to attend it or you need more guidance in CapCut editing, watch this video, pause whenever you want, and try to recreate the steps that I'm taking here. The first thing that you want to do is go to the link with materials for the workshop and watch already edited video. This will give you an idea of how your edited video is supposed to look like at the end. Then please download all of the materials from the folder called Used Clips. I highly recommend creating a separate folder on your laptop for all of the materials because this will help you to stay organized, and importing materials to CapCut will be simply quicker. To start editing in CapCut, you have to press Create a New Project, and this is how it will look like. You can already change the name of your project. I just decided to go with Video Editing Basics. If you want to import the materials or file that you made, you click on Import and you choose what you want to add. If you created a folder, in order to see all of the materials, you have to click on it and then you can scroll through all materials. There are two ways of adding clips into your project. You can either press the plus with Add to Track, or you can drag clips onto your timeline. For this step, please look for the following 3 clips and add them into your timeline. Video number 1 with a blue glow, video number 2 with news presenters, and video number 3 with a guy on a green screen. As you can see, the clip with blue globe is pretty loud, so you want to adjust the volume level. To make it easier for you, please zoom onto the timeline. The best way to zoom in is to simply use your 2 fingers to pinch outward. Then press this line with your cursor. By going up and down, you can make the clip louder or quieter. What we want to achieve here is for these orange lines at the top to disappear. First, let's do the first video with the globe. Counting from the very beginning of the timeline, go exactly to 13th second. Now we're going to use the delete left function. This will delete all content to the left of the playhead in that clip, leaving us with a nice transition. Let's take care of the second clip. Find the 28th second of the clip. In this case, we want to make this video shorter but keep the beginning of it. That's why we're going to use delete right function. Next, you want to do JCut using the first 2 clips. JCut means that audio of one clip begins under another clip, creating a nice transition. Here, you want to drag the news anchor to the 4th second. Remember to make sure that it is under the globe clip.
Bowen Heights man says he saw a UFO and has part of the spaceship to prove it.
Now let's add the guy with the green screen at exactly 12 seconds and 13 milliseconds.
And has part of the spaceship to prove it.
KCAL News anchor Chris Holmstrom is here. And Chris, you spoke with him about this.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case, which makes you wonder what's really going on.
What is very cool about CapCut is that it has many audios to choose from. As you can see, you can scroll through different categories such as summer music and pop music. For the purpose of this tutorial, we already have a prepared audio and the imported files. Please drag it onto the beginning of the timeline. What we want to do here is to replace the audio of the clip with the globe. To do that, you have to completely mute the globe clip. Next, cut the newly added audio at exactly 9 seconds and 6 milliseconds. Lastly, move the shortened clip to the very beginning of the timeline.
Bowen Heights man says he saw a UFO and has part of the spaceship to prove it.
To emphasize that the news reporters are talking about UFO, let's add a picture of it. Drag the image of the UFO above the clip of the reporters. Now adjust the length of the image being displayed from 5 seconds and 18 milliseconds to 8 seconds and 22 milliseconds. Next, adjust the size of the image and place it in between the 2 news reporters.
Roland Heights man says he saw a UFO and has part of the spaceship to prove it.
To give the image some context, add the information about the place and date of a UFO sighting. Click on the text and drag the default text above the UFO image. Resize it and change the color of the text accordingly to the picture.
Roland Heights man says he saw a UFO and has part of the spaceship to prove it.
Now let's add text for this clip to make it more news-like. Go to the text templates and scroll until you reach the news section. Choose one of the breaking news items and drag it above the clip of reporter with green screen. Adjust the size and placement of the text. Lastly, adjust the length of the text so that it starts at 12 seconds and 13 milliseconds and lasts until the end.
You spoke with him about this.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case, which...
To place images in the place of green screen, go to the right-hand side of the CapCut and click on Video. Then select Remove PG. Scroll to the Chroma Key section and click the box. Next, select the color picker and click the green screen that is on the clip.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case.
Now we want to replace what is currently on the green screen with a UFO clip. To do so, drag the clip of UFO in between the clip with two news reporters and reporter with green screen.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's...
As you can hear, the UFO clip has a very loud gasp. To get rid of it, mute its audio.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case.
Adjust the size and placement of the UFO clip.
Chris, you spoke with him about this.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case, which makes you wonder what's really going on.
Adjust the length of the UFO clip so that it starts at 12 seconds and 13 milliseconds and ends at 15 seconds and 4 milliseconds. Here, the news reporter is talking about the government, therefore we'll use the image of the president and cut it at 21 seconds and 1 millisecond.
Federal government's actually...
I'm also already adjusting the size and the placement of the image.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case, which makes you wonder what's really going on. All right, so this man, Jose Padilla, he was 9 years...
Now, the news reporter is talking about the man. Thus, add the image of the man and cut it at 21 seconds and 15 milliseconds. The next picture that we're going to add is the class picture. Cut it at 24 seconds and 8 milliseconds. For the future context, this is Jose.
Service here, and Chris, you spoke with him about this.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case, which makes you wonder what's really going on. All right, so this man, Jose Padilla, he was 9 years old back in 1945.
Since the news reporter is talking about the UFO at the end, we're going to add the clip of UFO again. Lastly, we're going to cut the clip of UFO as well as the news reporter with green screen and the text at exactly 28 seconds.
Going on. All right, so this man, Jose Padilla, he was 9 years old back in 1945 when he says he and his friend witnessed something. When he says he and his friend witnessed something they'd never forgets.
Going from videos to still images can be kind of jarring. To make it look nicer, we're going to use various effects.
With him about this.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating.
To add effects, go to the Effects section at the top and drag them into where you want them to be.
Spoke with him about this.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually
Each effect can be adjusted with the accordance to your needs.
Spoke with him about this.
Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case.
Now you can play around with the effects and try to add some to images of President Jose or class. As an example, I added the same effect to the images of Jose and class. I also adjusted the range and speed of the zoom effect.
All right, so this man, Jose. Yeah, it sounds like a wild story, but what's crazy about it is the federal government's actually investigating this case, which makes you wonder what's really going on. All right, so this man, Jose Padilla, he was 9 years old back in 1945. When he says he and his friend witnessed something they'd never forget.
Before we export our project, we are going to add a cover. Press the cover button, which is in front of the timeline, and choose whatever cover you want. It can be either image from your desktop or from the project. To export the project, use the export button in the top right-hand corner. Thank you for your attention. I hope that this video was helpful. If you need any help with CapCut, feel free to come by the plant on Thursday between 1:30 and 2:30 p.m.